Hello again. In today's lesson, we are going to be thinking about using the suffix es that we introduced in Choices 1, but we're also thinking about long vowel spellings. Can you write the letter before me? Which letter will we write if we hear A at the end of a syllable, like in station, or all on its own in a syllable, like alien? Well done. We write the letter A. O at the end of a syllable, like in robot, or all on its own in a syllable, like open. We write the letter O. I at the end of a syllable, like spider, or all on its own in a syllable, like iron. We write the letter I. And here we have sight and sigh. This is our unusual spelling of I. I-G-H. Well done. If I hear E at the end of a syllable, like delight, or all on its own in a syllable, like equals, I write the letter E. And this is our new letter. So here we are thinking about the fact that it follows the same rules as all the other vowel letters that we've introduced so far. Now we're going to use those 4 syllable spelling choices in the word potato. How many syllables do we have? Pot-a-toe. We have 3. Pot-a-toe. Pot, I can hear p-o-t, a short vowel sound. The next syllable, I can hear a long vowel sound, and it's all on its own in a syllable. And then I can hear toe, t-o, another long vowel sound. And this word doesn't follow the usual spelling if we hear O at the end of a word. So it's a new one to remember. This syllable is spelt like a syllable rather than the end of a word. So which letters will we use? P is P, O is O, T is T. Then I could hear A, all on its own, so I've written the letter A. And here we spell the last syllable like a syllable. I could hear T, so I write T. Then I could hear O, so I write O. And if we have more than one potato, we add the suffix es, potatoes. Okay, let's try another one. Tomato. How many syllables? Let's have a think. Tap, clap, chin tap. We have 3. Tom, a, toe. Tom. T-o, a short vowel sound. And this time we have a short vowel sound, all on its own in a syllable. And then toe, t-o, same as potato. a long vowel sound. And we're spelling this like a syllable. So, tomato. I could hear the first syllable here. Then I could hear a. Then I could hear toe. And if we have more than one tomato, we add suffix es. Now this rule about suffix es added to a word that ends in an O can be a tricky one, because sometimes we use it and sometimes we don't. Sometimes you'll see words ending with an O where we only add an S. So a little bit later on, we are going to write a short spelling story that will help us to remember some of the really commonly used words that add suffix es because a word ended in the letter O. For now, let's have a think about this one. Gaston gossips about Gus. We know to say G if we can see that the letter G is followed by A, O, or U. But sometimes we come across words we use a lot that don't follow that rule. But we don't have any trouble when we're spelling it first, because we can hear the different sounds. So, how many syllables can I hear in get? Well, just one. Get. I can hear G, E, a short vowel sound, and T. One syllable. G, E, T. And we know exactly which letters to write. G is G, E is E, T is T. We know exactly how to write this word. And because we're writing it first, that's going to help us with reading it. Get. Let's have a think about another really commonly used word. Begin. We have a bell to ring to tell us to begin. How many syllables can we hear? Begin. Yep, there were two. Begin. Let's think about the sounds. In B, I could hear B and I could hear E. A long vowel sound at the end of a syllable, so I know exactly how to write it. And then gin. G, I, N. And it's another word or syllable where we're following a different rule. It has a short vowel sound, and we know how to write it because we can hear the sounds. So I have got B is B. E is the letter E because I heard it at the end of a syllable. And then gin. I can see a letter G. And even though it's followed by an I, in this word, I still say G. Begin. Easy to do when we're writing it before we start reading it. So, let's write a short story to remind us of these words that are a little bit different in the way that we put them. And we're going to start with Ben. Ben goes to get potatoes. That's our first sentence. Let's write Ben goes. Well, we need a capital B. And then is E, N is N. Goes. Now, you can either write it by adding ES to the word go, or you can use first sound spelling. Goes on every scooter. To get, that's the next bit of our sentence. To get. And I can hear the sounds to help me write it. Potatoes. Write it one syllable at a time. Pot, a, toes, potatoes. And we've added suffix es to show that there is more than one. So he's got his potatoes. He does not. He is our pronoun instead of a name. Does not. And does again. You can remember it as do with es added for an action that a named person does, or you can remember it as does on every scooter and do first sound spelling. So what does he not get? Well, let's write get and then we'll find out. He does not get tomatoes. I'm sure you guessed that. And again, we have added suffix es because there is more than one tomato. There. He's probably got some at home already. Make a note somewhere of this spelling story. It's there as a reminder of how to spell 4 really common words adding es and the word get. And if you want to, you can add to the story using the word begin. Have a think about where that could go. Thank you for joining me.